Join me as I dive deep into the self-consistency bias and challenge myself to really confront how it shapes my thoughts and decisions. The self-consistency bias is a fascinating psychological phenomenon that has a profound impact on how we perceive ourselves and our decisions. Essentially, it's the tendency for people to want to appear consistent with their past statements and actions, even if it means making irrational or unhealthy choices. Recognizing self-consistency bias in our daily lives and decision-making processes can be incredibly challenging. After all, we're often unaware of the biases that drive our thoughts and actions. It's as if we're operating on autopilot, automatically defending our past decisions and statements without stopping to consider whether they're still valid or relevant. One of the reasons it's so hard to spot is that it's deeply ingrained in our nature to want to feel consistent and coherent. We tend to tie our sense of identity to our past choices and beliefs, making it difficult to admit when we've changed our minds or made a mistake. This bias can be especially problematic in situations where we're trying to evaluate new information or consider alternative perspectives. Instead of approaching these situations with an open mind, we may find ourselves subconsciously cherry-picking data that supports our existing beliefs and ignoring anything that contradicts them. It's a form of mental gymnastics, where we're more concerned with preserving our self-image than with arriving at the truth. Another obstacle to recognizing self-consistency bias is that it often manifests as a subtle, underlying feeling rather than a conscious thought. We might feel a twinge of discomfort or defensiveness when someone challenges our views, without being able to pinpoint exactly why. Despite these challenges, it's crucial that we make an effort to recognize and overcome self-consistency bias in our daily lives. By doing so, we can cultivate a more honest and adaptable mindset, one that's open to growth and change. Self-consistency bias can have a profound impact on our beliefs, behaviors, and relationships. For instance, have you ever found yourself sticking to a particular political ideology or worldview simply because you've identified with it for so long, even if you no longer truly believe in it? That's self-consistency bias at work. Or maybe you've stayed in a relationship that's no longer serving you, just because you don't want to admit that you made a mistake by getting involved in the first place. These are just a few examples of how this bias can influence our choices and shape our sense of identity. The self-consistency bias can also lead us to overlook our own flaws and mistakes, simply because we're so invested in maintaining a particular image or reputation. We might rationalize our behavior, downplay our errors, or even blame others in order to preserve our ego. This can be damaging not only to ourselves, but also to those around us, as it can lead to dishonesty, lack of accountability, and stagnation. By acknowledging the self-consistency bias, we can begin to develop a more compassionate and realistic understanding of ourselves, one that's grounded in humility and a willingness to learn. One of the most significant effects of self-consistency bias is that it can prevent us from evolving and growing as individuals. When we're too attached to our past beliefs and actions, we become resistant to change and new ideas, even if they could be beneficial to us. This can lead to stagnation, boredom, and a sense of unfulfillment. By recognizing and overcoming this bias, we can unlock new possibilities and experiences that would have otherwise remained closed to us. The main insight that I want to convey is that acknowledging this bias can lead to personal growth and improved decision-making. When we're willing to confront our own biases and inconsistencies, we can develop a more nuanced and mature understanding of ourselves and the world around us. We can make more informed, rational decisions that are based on evidence and reason, rather than on a desire to maintain a particular image or ego. This in turn can lead to greater confidence, resilience, and a deeper sense of self-awareness. In summary, self-consistency bias is a powerful force that can shape our thoughts, decisions, and relationships in profound ways. By recognizing its influence, we can cultivate a more open, honest, and adaptable mindset, one that's grounded in humility and a willingness to learn. Thanks for watching, and if you've had any experiences with self-consistency bias, please share them in the comments below. And if you'd like to explore more topics like this, be sure to check out my video on the Dunning-Kruger effect.